Ashley, what's up first?
All right. First email for the day is from Patreon supporter Jeff Bingham. He says, when Hobbs and Shaw was announced, I took it as a sign that Dwayne Johnson would not appear in Fast and the Furious 9, and now he just confirmed it, but he did leave the door open to returning for Fast and the Furious 10. Do you think he will, or will Hobbs now be in separate installments? I hope he returns because I like the entire team together and I dislike the feuds going on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the email. And thanks a lot, Jeff, for being a Patreon supporter. Yeah, so just to put it in context, The Rock did come out and confirm he's not going to be in Fast 9, which is what we suspected. But just so we're on the same playing field, here's exactly what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wrote. He wrote, "The plan has always been for the Fast and Furious universe to grow and expand. As of now, we're not in Fast 9. He's talking about him and Jason Statham, because they're getting ready to start shooting, but who knows? With Fast 10 and down the road, you never know, because look, at the end of the day, the truth is there's unfinished business between Hobbs and Dom. It's unfinished. Not only is there unfinished business between Hobbs and Dom, there's unfinished business between Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel." I remember, Robert, when they started talking about, oh, there's this feuding between, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel, I thought it was all publicity. I 100% thought it was, and it turned out, no, there's actually, and in Fast 8, they were never on set together. They could never be on set at the same time. They exchanged words with each other, and apparently that's all gone very nasty. And then, of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's had ongoing other drama with like Tyrese causing drama and all this kind of nonsense. So there's a little bit of separation there. So we're not going to see him in 9. Will that hurt 9? Maybe. Could he be in 10? Maybe. But will there be any effect? I want to draw our attention to something, because this really, we all know this theoretically, but let's put this into real tangible terms about the effect that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has had on this Fast and the Furious franchise. Let's look at all the films. First of all, we got 4 Fast and Furious franchise that were without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Those movies, in order, worldwide made Fast and Furious 1, $207 million. Fast and Furious 2, $236. Fast and the Furious 3 took a nosedive because some loser character named Han was in it, made $158 million. Fast and Furious 4 made a bit of a rebound at $363. So that's what we got, an average of about $250 million per film without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, franchise Viagra, comes into the picture, and out of the gate, boom, Fast and Furious 5 almost makes as much as all the previous 4 films put together, and it only went up from there. Fast 5 made $626 million. Fast 6 made $788 million. Fast 7 made $1.5 billion, and then Fast 8 also joining the $1 billion club at 1.28. Now let's keep this graphic up here for a second. In general, does Universal want Fast 9 to not have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Absolutely not. Will there be an impact on the box office without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Numbers don't lie. Yes, there will be an impact, but don't get me wrong. I don't think for a second that Fast 9 is all of a sudden going to drop down to pre-The Rock numbers. I don't think Fast 9 is going to make $340 million. It's going to make a big amount of money. But will it make as much money without The Rock? The numbers say no. And so I think they're going to try to really find a way to make sure they can get everybody. If Fast 10 is indeed the final Fast and Furious movie, I think they're going to work very hard over the next year to try to work out something between Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel. 2 guys I really like, so it bothers me that these 2 don't get along, because I love these guys. They're going to try to figure out a way to make that work, because they're going to want to have everybody there for 10, and that includes the guy who turned the ship around, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Rob, you look at these numbers, you look at this, how significant or important is it for Dwayne to come back, or do you think, no, with these spin-offs and everything, this can all be smooth sailing regardless?
I just want to point out Fast 7, $1.5 billion, the highest grossing of the franchise, began with Han's funeral. That's how much people cared.
Everybody needed to come out.
That's how much people
Han.
cared. And I just want to say, Jeff, who asked this question, talks about how he wants the whole team together. Apparently, the whole team sans one person. Han is not in your team.
Well, that's
what he's saying.
That's because nobody wanted him.
You know what? They could just make another prequel. Han died in 3, but he came back in 4, 5, and 6. There's a way it can be done. But no, I think, look, Fast 5 to me is one of the great franchise reinventions in history. and that's when they brought his character in. That movie, as far as the Fast and Furious films can go, that's the Citizen Kane of Fast and Furious movies. And his character was a great addition to the franchise. First, he started out as an antagonist, and he's become sort of a frenemy, which is great. But his addition to that franchise was they always filmed him sweating. You know, he was so jacked. And he's sweating all the time, and he was just such a great presence in that film that it really, and the film, the franchise became a different franchise. It became this international heist movie with this incredibly, although physics don't make much sense, but there's an incredible car chase at the end of that movie where they rip off a bank vault and it's swinging.
That was just nutty.
It's the greatest thing ever. And I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mr. Johnson, has brought so much to this franchise. But I think the where the loggerheads came from is he is a consummate professional. That guy doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
And you're on set from the first moment you roll camera to the end of the day. There's no shenanigans with him. And I think he doesn't like shenanigans. He's a businessman. He's there to work hard. And when other people don't step up to the plate the way he does, he gets angry.
Yeah, and sometimes maybe he should, sometimes maybe he shouldn't. I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't take a side in the Vin Diesel Rock thing because I don't know them. I've met them, but I don't know them personally, and I don't know the dynamic that was on set. I just, as a fan, Robert, as a fan of both of these guys, I just want them to work it out because, like those numbers that we pulled up kind of show, this franchise will work best when they're both in it. By the way, that we were joking about the Han thing with Fast and Furious 3.
I'm not joking.
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift had no Vin Diesel. Other than the very, very end, right? So, you need to have these two guys there. If you want to hit your optimal peak, you got to have both of these guys in there. So I hope they can get it worked out for Fast and Furious 10.